Not all windshields are made the same, but this is why you should get a Starknight MT Flip-Up Windshield for your side-by-side. First off, let's talk about the durability. This thing is polycarbonate, but it also has hard coating on the front and the backside to help resist scratches. But not only that, it blocks UV rays. Really simple to use with a flip of a handle. Bottom panel sits low enough to stay out of the view of the passengers and the driver. Not only do they bend the edges over to be able to help stiffen this up, but they also add a nice piece of angle all the way down through here. They add a custom channel down here on the bottom that really stiffens this bottom up. Plus, there are 2 heavy-duty shock absorbers to help while you're riding rough terrain. You may be wondering, well, how fast can you go with this? Well, I'm going to tell you, I put it to the test, and I've hit 70 mile an hour and sustained 70 mile an hour, and this thing did freaking fabulous. We're going to roll that clip.
68. Like I said, it's very impressive for how we are running 70, 69, 70 right there. And it's very stable. Very, very impressive.
But enough talking about the great things about it. Let's get to the installing this thing and show you how easy it really is to do. So your kit contains not only the flip-up windshield, all of your screws and brackets, shocks, as well as your templates and your tools that you need for this install. Here is our bottom panel. Now I gotta say, this bottom panel is really nice. Has a super nice gasket along the bottom side. And along this face here that you actually have that the window closes on, it actually has a very nice metal trim to really stiffen this thing up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing, I'm leaving my plastic on until I get done with the install because, well, I don't wanna make a mistake. Now you can take and just pick up on that hood a little bit. Now you wanna be careful, but kind of wiggle this thing down into place just like so. All right, now we're going to take our actual bracket along with the smaller screws that you're going to get in there, along with a smaller washer that has rubber on the inside. You're also going to get lock nut. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this part here that has the little cookout on it. This part here is going to go inside the cab. This part's going to go on the outside. You literally wrap it around the tube. You're going to take your bolt, add your washer to it. Now it's going to be a little tight because you have that rubber seal there. And you're basically going to put it through the bracket piece into the windshield, wrap around the backside, and then what you're going to do then is put your nut on it. Now, I'm not tightening this thing up, just going to leave it loose for now because we want to get the top portion on before I tighten everything up. Here we go. Now is a good time to go ahead and pull that bottom off. I've got it in there. I really don't have to worry about scratching it. So I'm going to take and grab the paper and pull it out and away so we can get it out of there. All right, this may be a little bit hard to see on this one because I still have my enclosure piece on. But what you're going to see right here is a welded bracket that goes up here in this corner. And what you're going to take is you're going to take, one of these, and what you're going to do is you're going to place it right along this edge, basically like so, and that's going to give you the standoff point for where this bracket is going to go, which actually holds the shock. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You're going to come over here, and you're going to come to the bottom of that weld right there, and you're just going to place that there. Now we have our place where our bracket goes. Now, just the up and close of the bracket, what you'll see is you've got this piece here that's actually for the front. Now, obviously, it's kind of the shape of the tube. This one goes to the back. Of course, the strut piece goes to the inside. Now, one thing to note as well, you got to be careful because you can flip these the wrong way and they won't quite line up like they should. So if you look, the one side has the notches on the corner. Those go together. So now you're going to come over here to where you have your little piece that's marked. You're going to run the top of the bracket to that piece. And then you're going to put a bolt. And then you're just going to put a nut on the backside. There's no washers on this. So we'll slap the bolt through. Like so. We grab the nut. Now, you don't necessarily have to worry about keeping it on line because you can adjust this thing until you get ready to lock it down. So just want to get it close. All right, so there's our welded bracket. Here's our little standoff piece to give us the right measurement down. And there's our bracket all tightened up, ready to go. All right, at this point, make sure your roof is loose so we can pull this up. All right, now we're going to take this top portion. I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff off the top of it, at least off this top panel, so we can set it up in place. Get that out the way. Get this part out the way, like so. Now this, we're going to take just like this. And we are going to slide it up underneath here. And we're going to open our handle. Make sure that's opened up. And wiggle it around in place. All right, now we are going to bolt in the top. Now you're going to take a bolt. You're going to get another one of those washers with the rubber on the back. You're also going to get a big piece of rubber here. Now what's going to happen is we're going to go through the windshield. Once you come through the windshield, this is going to go on. Then it's going to go through the cage and with a nut on the backside. At this point, you're going to take your bolt. I've got my washer on there already. Now this is going to go through the windshield. This rubber is going to go between the windshield and the actual frame of the machine. And then you're going to be able to put your nut right on there. Now, if you guys are wondering what hole I'm referring to, it's basically this hole you see right here that's on the frame. This is going to slide up and bolt in. When you get done, it should look something like that. Now, this is not tightened up, but you see there's a bolt with the washer with the big grommet on the backside and a nut on the backside. Now, we also have these straps. These go in the middle. So what you're going to do on these is you're going to lift your roof up. You're going to shove these through. Now, what you want to pay attention to is making sure that you put these the right way. So the proper way for these to be put through is, if you're looking at it, there's going to be a Velcro side that is the soft Velcro. All right, that's going to stay to the outside. You're going to loop this around the windshield, around the roll cage. You're going to pull this through and back over. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and latch this windshield before I actually even put my pieces on for the struts. I want to make sure everything is fitting good like I want it to. And now I'm going to go ahead and tighten up these top bolts. And then I'm going to break it loose and go ahead and tighten, or should I say open it up, and I'm going to tighten these bottoms up. Last but not least, we're going to install the struts themselves. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to screw this end here, which is the end that goes into the actual windshield mount. We're going to screw that first, then we will screw the bracket portion. And then we're going to take and turn our piece here and get it to line up on this side. And then we're going to screw this piece in. Make sure we tighten it up very good, so we don't want that coming loose. here we have it installed. And our first impression so far, I'm really liking what I see. Curious to get this thing out and test it. It's got a nice seal around the bottom. It's got nice seals up on the side here. It's actually really sturdy built as far as all these edges here, because what we have is we actually have a steel plate back here that actually stiffens up along this bottom piece. The top side has it as well. You can tell there's a crown in this. So what you're going to have to do is when you actually go to pull this thing down, is you're going to have to pull down and push down. Let me put you down real quick. What you're going to do is pull down and just push on that bottom a little bit, and gives it a nice little fitment there at that point. Everything's nice and tight. So far, I'm really, really liking what I see. So big question is how is this thing going to do and how it's going to hold up? If you guys see some other videos, I put some of this stuff to the test, including this thing. Today, we're just going to get out. We're going to do a quick ride. I'm going to open this thing up. We're going to go as fast as we can, see how it does in the 70-mile-an-hour wind. Let's get it.
But now we are running with the windshield closed. Just want to get an idea, feel for it. So get on up, get us some speed, see how it does. So 58 right now, everything's good. 63, 65 now. There we are, hitting 68, 70 right there. Oh, that's great. 72. The windshield closed, zero issue. Now the real trick is how will it do once we pop this bad boy up? Ooh, that's a lot of wind. Ain't gonna know how to act with that much wind coming through here. We're just gonna turn around right here. Do us another speed run right here. Bottom here adjusted. All right. Now the window open. Let's see how she does. Ain't gonna lie, she feels real good. Here we are, 56, 60, 62, 65. Boy, it's a lot of wind. But on a hot day, it feels great. 67. Here we are, hitting. Just lost my hat.
So guys, if you are looking for a windshield, I've got to highly suggest this Starknight MT Flip-Up Windshield. So I have been a big Polaris fan. I had the Polaris windshield, but I did always find during the summer, even those little vents, they don't produce enough air. This thing, I'm able to open up and actually get enough airflow in here to keep the cab cool. These things get hot during the summer. Let's be honest, it is super hot in these things. But now this windshield allows us to get a nice airflow. If we want to, we can close it off if we get into nasty weather or if it gets cold. Seals up very well. It has nice seals around the side. Nice seal down here all across the bottom. I mean, really, it is a great windshield. I'm going to put a link down in the description below for you to pick one up. But guys, we're going to end this video off here. If you have any questions, let me know down below. We'll see you on the next one.